Good morning, my name is Devion Ross, and welcome to the very first episode of Star Wars Extended, where I nerd out in an attempt to extend your knowledge about the Star Wars universe. Today I'm talking about Stormtroopers. But not just any Stormtroopers, the legendary Saber Troopers. So today's story begins 19 years before the Battle of Yavin. Our beloved Palpatine assigns one of his Emperor's hands, Sakyus, to assassinate Darth Vader. Now, Emperor's hands are typically ex-Jedi who went rogue and trained in the dark side of the Force, and their function is pretty much to be Palpatine's personal assassins, and they only answer to him. Kinda like the Inquisitors, but on a much more secretive basis. So Sakyus confronts Vader, and of course, he loses. But he does put up quite a fight, and Vader respects him for it. So Vader imprisons him and tortures him to get him to reveal who put him up to this assassination. But being truly loyal to the Emperor, his lips are sealed. Sakyus doesn't say a word. Now Vader already knows that Palpatine's the one who did it. Palpatine is always deceiving him and testing his abilities. You know, since he took a fat L on Mustafar thanks to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Palpatine is always testing Vader to make sure that he is a worthy apprentice. So now, having gained Vader's full attention and honest respect, Sakyus is then offered his freedom by Vader to give him the information that he's been pestering him for the entire time. But still staying tight to his honor and his loyalty, he still refuses. Vader, now completely convinced that this man is the ideal organism to make Force-sensitive clone Stormtroopers out of, he gets ready to go to work. So he extracts the necessary DNA, cuts off his head, and orders for 6 Sakyus clones to be created. They go into production, flash forward a year, and now we have our 6 Sakyus clones. Good job. So first they had to undergo regular Stormtrooper training, which was a piece of cake for them. Then they were to be trained with lightsabers and in the ways of the dark side. But Palpatine and Vader were too busy to be training clones, so Emperor Palpatine hired one of his other hands, Shayvan, to train them. Now Shayvan was under the impression that he was the only Emperor's hand. So getting this assignment, he wasn't too keen on, the origin stories of the assignment. But nonetheless, having true loyalty for Palpatine, he did what he was told to do. So Shayvan goes to train them, Robert's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and now we have our 6 exceptional Saber Troopers. For the final part of their training, and as an expo to the Emperor, they faced off with each other and then faced off with Vader. So after completing their final test, Palpatine was so impressed with them that he wanted a full battalion of Sakyus clones to be printed. Printed? Created. And Vader was going to enlist the original 6 into the 501st immediately. However, on the way back to the Imperial capital, Shayvan turned on the Emperor out of jealousy and rage again because he was not the only Emperor's hand, now having the assistance of the 6 Sakyus clones, because they felt that since Shayvan was the one who trained them and took that time, he was the one they should be loyal to, not to the Emperor, because he just had them created, And they did pretty good at first. They was cutting down other Stormtroopers and they was making their way through, but once they got to Vader, well, they should have known better. Vader let them know who the boss was, taking down 2 of them by snapping their necks with the Force and then leaving the other 4 to be burned alive by flame troopers. And as for Shayvan, let's just say he went from being worth 1 of himself to 2 of himself, if you know what I'm talking about. He got cut in half. From shoulder to hip, a perfect 45. Needless to say, Palpatine canceled his order to print out a full battalion of the clones, and pretty much 86 the entire idea of having Force-sensitive Stormtroopers. However, Vader still had faith that it was possible. And as most of you may know, he definitely tried it again. So thank you all for coming through. I hope that you learned something new. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. I hope you had a good day. Bye.